What is your recruiting process like with colleges? Obviously, you were highly ranked. I'm assuming you're playing on these big teams. You're going to the best tournaments in the country. I mean, were you talking with coaches nonstop, I would imagine?
Yeah, so I got a pretty like interesting story with that. So for me, like most of the recruiting stuff happened that the end of my junior year, going
Okay.
into my like that summer is when I just
Is
took
when it
off
took
on
off.
every aspect. Like I had Tennessee talking to me, LSU, like a lot of like big schools, and so during the summer, like during that little time span, I was getting calls galore.
Yeah.
And about halfway through the summer, I talked to it was an advisor, and he asked me, what schools are you interested in? And I told him, Wake Forest was one of them because one of my old teammates was there, and Tom, who's still there, he was an awesome guy, and so I really, really liked him. And so that was like I was an academic guy too,
Okay.
so it was appealing to me for a number of
Everything.
different reasons. And so I told the advisor that was one of the schools that I was really interested in, and he actually started telling people I committed there. And so for like 3 weeks, like all calls stopped. And I'm like, I mean, I wasn't playing the best, but dang, like how did I go from my phone ringing off the hook to like nothing? It was like crickets. And it wasn't until right before I went to East Coast Pro, which is the end of the summer, to where my travel coach was actually like having to go around and tell people I wasn't committed.
Really?
Yeah, and so it like was a hard stop for like almost a whole month, and I didn't hear anything. And then I went to East Coast Pro, did really well, and he's trying to get the word out that I'm not committed. And then it picked back up, and so after East Coast Pro, flew the area codes. So I went from Florida to LA. Like I had to leave East Coast Pro like a day early just to go to area codes. And he's doing the same thing out in California. So, like, thankful to him. Like, he helped kind of troubleshoot everything or, like, put the fire out. And then that fall was Jupiter. So, in Jupiter, I was uncommitted. And I did really well at Jupiter. And so, at that point is when I started getting flooded again. But it was a lot of schools that were already out because at that point, most schools, they were
It was
done.
a shortstop position.
Yeah.
That's
they were
one
done
of the
with
first
their
ones.
recruiting.
Yeah.
But I still, like, I got a lot of offers from there. I had to take my visits like back to back to back to back, just because like everything had happened like so weird and so late. It kind of pushed everything kind of together.
Yeah.
And at that time, it wasn't unlimited. You only had 5, and I was supposed to take all 5, but I ended up taking 4. But the process was for me. I encourage my kids now, go to the school that loves you more than you love them, because at the end of the day, it's about playing. It's like if I can't get on the field, what good is the school name? And so it's like I had the Power 5 schools. I had the dream schools per se to go to. But for me, like my ultimate goal was getting drafted. But my plan B was like if I go on campus, I want to be playing.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people ask like, why FIU? Like, why did you go to Florida International? It's like I had Florida State, I had Mizzou, I had Wake Forest. Tennessee had came in late. Vandy showed some interest, and they were like, why? Arizona was showing interest. It was like, why Florida International? I was like, I want to play, and I don't like the cold. So Miami was kind of a no-brainer. But I wanted to go in and play, and so like I played every year down at FIU. I started short as a freshman, and so I wanted to go somewhere where it was like, obviously you got to compete wherever you go. But I wanted the best possible opportunity to go play. And Florida State was my dream school growing up. And, we actually played, I think, our second series, we played Florida State. And they had a guy named Alex Gonzalez. That was it short. And I played my whole freshman year with a torn labrum. Like on my throwing arm, too. So I went in, which looking back on it might not have been the smartest thing. But I wanted to play. Like I really wanted to play. And so I played my whole freshman year like that. But we played Florida State. They had Alex Gonzalez at short, and he was disgusting. And he was a junior. And that was his first year starting. So I'm like, dude, if I would have came here, I probably would have definitely had surgery. Yeah. But 2, I probably wouldn't have got on the field until I was a junior. And for me,
that wasn't going to work.
Yeah, that wasn't going to fly.
Is that why you didn't go to Florida State, or was there another reason?
It was another reason. I'm not gonna throw no names out. The recruiting coordinator kind of had a he really caught an attitude with me. Like I had some stuff happen like at my household. Like one of the cars, we were supposed to drive down, and one of the cars went out. The engine went out.
Oh wow!
And so we had set up the visit and everything. And honestly, they were offering me almost a full ride. So I was like, if I get on this campus, I'm signing.
Right.
Like, it's my dream school.
It was your dream school anyway.
I probably, even though I wanted to play, if I got out there, I probably be like, it's a wrap, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. But like the week before, I told him like, I'm gonna need a plane ticket because our engine just went out, so we can't fly. And then he called me like with an attitude. He was like basically asking me like, was I gonna commit on the spot because he wasn't gonna waste $500 on a plane ticket if I wasn't. And it just rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go. Like, you good. Don't worry about the ticket. And I never went. And he ended up getting fired that fall.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why I never went on my visit to Florida State. Yeah.
God was just tapping on that car engine. Yeah. Didn't make that thing not work.
Yeah. Because it was definitely God why I ended up going to I thought it was baseball, but it was definitely God that sent me to FIU.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, how was that conversation? Back to the advisor situation. Once you found out he was doing that, what was that conversation like?
It wasn't one. I never talked to that guy again.
Oh, really?
Yes. It was the coaches that had told us that he told them I was committed. It was a guy that was trying to, because like once you get to a certain point, the agents are kind of like scouts. Like they're recruited.
Right. Because you couldn't have an agent back
at
then.
That time,
they were advisors.
And so it was like under the table, it's like we represent or we advise this guy.
Right.
And so he was just at a game and he just talked to me and I told him, you know, not thinking anything of it. I didn't say anything crazy and I didn't talk to him again after that. And I found out months later that he was telling people I was committed.
Wow. Did you ever visit Wake Forest? Was that ever on the list?
I went on my visit to Wake Forest.
Just wasn't
Yep. Yeah, it didn't feel like home.
Yeah.
It was I love the coaches. Bill was still there. Bill was the main guy that was recruiting me, Coach Salento. And Tom was awesome. I loved them. It was before they got all the stuff they have now, obviously. They were like actually building. They had just got done with the turf field and everything. And it was like everybody was awesome. It just didn't like feel like home.
Didn't feel right.
Yeah, and it was expensive.
Yeah.
It was expensive to go there. And they gave me like an awesome offer, but it still would have left me paying like 30 racks.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. It was a good visit though.
If you enjoyed that clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the full podcast, click right here. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you find this content valuable.